Surinamese people are the citizens of Suriname and their descendants abroad. Suriname is a multi-ethnic nation, home to people of different ethnic and national backgrounds. As a result, Surinamese do not consider their nationality as an ethnicity, but as a citizenship with various ethnicities, ethnic groups. The population of Suriname is a mixture of different ethnic groups. East Indians form 27% of the population. They are descendants of 19th-century contract workers from India. They are from the Indian states of Bihar and eastern Uttar Pradesh, in northern India, along the Nepali border. Africans form about 37% of the population, and are divided into two groups. The Creoles, mixed descendants of West African slaves and Europeans, and Maroons, descendants of escaped West African slaves. The two main Maroon groups are the Nuka and Saramacans. Javanese form 14% of the population. Amerindians, the original inhabitants of Suriname, form 3.7% of the population. The main groups being the Akurio, Arawak, Kalina, Tirio and Wayana. They live mainly in the districts of Paramaribo, Wanaka, Marovina and Sipaliwini. Chinese, mainly descendants of the earliest 19th century contract workers. The 1990s and early 21st century saw renewed immigration on a large scale. In the year 2011 there were over 40,000 Chinese in Suriname. Europeans, descendants of Dutch 19th century immigrant farmers, Portuguese from Madeira and other white people. The descendants of Dutch immigrant farmers are known as Boeros. Most Boeros left after independence in 1975. Levantines, primarily Maronites from Lebanon, and Jews, mainly descendants of Sephardic Jews and Ashkenazi Jews. In their history, Jodense of Van plays a major role. Many Jews are mixed with other populations. Brazilians, many of them gold miners. Most of the nearly 40,000 Brazilians living in Suriname arrived during the past several years. The 7th census of Suriname in 2004 reported the following: 27.4% East Indian, 17.7% Creole, 14.7% Maroons, 14.6% Javanese, 12.5% mixed descent, 3.7% Amerindian, 3% Chinese, 2% white. Demography. Most of the inhabitants live in the north of the country, in the districts of Paramaribo, Wanaka and Nickerie. The least populated county is Sipaliwini, which covers most of the nation's interior and is sparsely inhabited. More than half of the population lives in and around the capital. Emigration. Migration to the Netherlands began during the colonial era. Initially this was mainly the colonial elite, but expanded during the 1920s and 1930s to the less fortunate inhabitants looking for better education, employment, or other opportunities. Approximately 350,000 individuals of Surinamese descent now live in the Netherlands, with mass migration beginning in the years leading up to Suriname's independence in 1975, and continuing in the period immediately after independence and during military rule in the 1980s. Surinamese continued to migrate to the Netherlands throughout the 1990s because of the then poor economic situation in Suriname. Languages. In Suriname there are no fewer than 20 languages spoken. Most Surinamese are multilingual. In terms of numbers of speakers are the main languages in Suriname, successively the Dutch language, Stranan Tongo, Sanami, Javanese, and different Maroon languages. Since most Surinamese people are multilingual, it is not easy for people to share in a particular language group. According to the results of the 7th General Population and Housing Census, which was held in 2004, Dutch is the most spoken home language in Suriname. In over 70% of households, Dutch is spoken as the first or second language. The lingua franca is Sranan Tongo, which literally means Surinamese language, and is spoken primarily as a second language in 46% of households, along with 22% Sanami Hindustani and 11% Javanese. Religion. The following religious statistics have been reported as of 2010. 48% Christianity, 27.4% Hinduism, 19.6% Islam, 5% indigenous or animist,